What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Outranked. I'm Steve Lewis, joined by my other co-host, Rafael Rhodes and Steve Nowicki. How you guys doing this week?
Man, I feel
I'm
like we
doing
just
good.
talked 2 days ago.
Right? Yes, I know. How
Yeah,
you
so
doing,
far,
Raf?
so far the weekend's been good, man. It's been enjoyable. How you guys?
Yeah. Oh, not too bad. Doing the single dad thing. Wife's out of town for a conference, so luckily right now the little one's down for a nap, so hopefully it'll be uninterrupted.
I got a
I
6-month-old, so I know how that one goes.
Yeah, I say hopefully.
It's eternally tired.
Yes.
Eternally tired.
I personally
Absolutely.
hope the kid wakes up and just becomes an absolute menace to society, so I don't feel bad for every time mine have done it.
It's happened a couple
Thank you.
times.
Yeah,
It's
thank you
happened a
for
couple
wishing
times.
that on me. I appreciate that, Wick.
Well, I started young and
All right.
retired early, you know what I'm saying?
Right. Well, we also have with us today a special guest, one of our longtime friends, Nicholas Weiss. How you doing, Nick?
I'm living, just like I said earlier, eternally tired. Got a newborn, and the wife's upstairs napping with her, so I get a couple hours of break.
Family naps. All right. They'll dig in the beard since you retired.
Yeah, man, it's getting a little unruly. That's the one cool thing about having the
It's your
newborn. It's like
personality.
I don't think I've gotten a haircut. It's like since she's been born, I'm just like, screw it, just let it go. I haven't even touched the beard or anything. And my mom, my wife yells at me like, "When are you gonna get a cut?" Never.
Yeah, I think I did that for the first year I was retired from my beard. I still cut my hair, but my beard, I'll let it go.
Hold on, Wick, what'd you say, buddy?
We're gonna have you back on when the kid gets a little bit older and then you just shave it all off. We gotta have the
reaction.
Reveal. My dad's fucking ugly reveal.
Who the hell is this motherfucker?
Yeah. Welcome to your introduction to therapy. Don't worry.
I remember my dad had a beard when I was younger, and then I was old enough to realize it was still him when he shaved it, but my little brother is 5 years younger, not so much. Freaked out. Just completely freaked out. It was hilarious.
Yeah, so my dad was the same way. He always had a beard, then he shaved it one time, and I was like, God, you're ugly under there.
I shaved actually when I had a job, when I started first working with Lewis, when I came out here to DC. I had shaved my beard, and my wife was like,
a mistake.
"Who are you?" I was like, "Yeah." I gave her therapy too, so
yeah. And if I recall,
it's wild how much that changed outlooks. I remember when Andrea and I got married, I shaved my mustache for the wedding. At everybody's request, and the day of the wedding, she's like, honestly, I wish you would have kept it. I forgot what you looked like with it, and I'm so used to it at this point.
A little late now, can't go back and change it.
Yeah, I can't glue it back on.
I mean, so a little bit about Nick. 20 years, United States Air Force, went Moody Air Force Base, Creech Air Force Base in Nevada, where we all became friends, and then he went to, was it Travis? Beale? Beale, yeah, in California, and then from there to Colorado Springs?
Yep, the Air Force Academy.
At the Air Force Academy. And now that he's retired, he's delved a little bit into politics and also running his own business. And like he's told everybody, he's a stay-at-home dad.
Yeah, it's
and he
awesome.
Looks like the Temu version of Duck Dynasty.
No, that's what I'm working on.
That's
what I was telling everyone. The second I was getting ready to retire, it's like I'm growing out a mullet, growing out my beard. I don't even care.
And you're awesome. One styrofoam cup short of asking me for change.
That's the look I was. Well, I mean, Steve and Rafi know if you they saw me all the time off of work, and it's like I looked like a homeless vet even while I was in, with the cut off combat shorts and just some old band t-shirt, just throw some random hat on. I was just out fishing all the time, just perennially sunburned from where we were at work. I looked like I belonged down on the streets of Vegas.
Oh yeah, I love it, man.
You could have been a performer.
I love it. Now that
I don't know what you would have performed, but
we're getting ready to leave the house, and it's like, you're going out like that?
Yes, I am.
I guess not. I'll go back and change.
Well, who wants to get started with the questions on old Nicholas Weiss?
Yeah,
Go
so
right ahead, Ref.
No, I'll let Nowicki start.
All right, go ahead.
So he said Moody and then Creech, and I forgot where the rest of them were. It doesn't sound like you've had a bad, outside of Creech, a bad run of things as far as duty stations go.
No, I mean, honestly, it's I was security forces by trade, and like I joke with people, and I think Rafi and I had this conversation when I got to Beale. I did not do the actual job for like 13 years before I got to Beale, and they're like, "You're going to be a flight chief in charge of like 120 people," and I'm like, "Can I go work a freaking gate?" Like, I have no clue what I'm doing. But no, I mean, the career was awesome. It was unique. I escaped Minot in tech school, um, going to the 820th, which ironic story for you. I actually came in open general, which 99% of the time you get security forces. I did not get security forces. I was actually originally given optometry assistant, and I had a TI that was a cop, and he was one of back when the 820th first stood back up in Lackland before they moved to Moody. He was one of the original people there. So like he went through pre-ranger, had his airborne wings, all this. And when I was in basic, we were watching Geraldo standing up there in Turkey, giving the countdown of 3, 2, 1, we're invading Iraq. And I was all like ready to go off and do war things and whatnot. And of course, the recruiters show you the sweet security forces recruitment video of like driving ATVs and playing with cool guns and whatnot.
Yeah.
But
one gate is in that fucking video.
I know.
No.
But the wild thing is I got optometry assistant, and it was not even on anything of the list that you were supposed to pick from. So here's me being young, dumb, and naive, because I was debating extending my enlistment from 4 to 6, and I wanted to swap my job to security forces. So I'm getting in this argument with this tech sergeant at like MPF down at Lackland. And like towards the end of the argument, it's like, well, I wanted to switch to security forces. She's like, why didn't you say that to begin with? Done, stamps. Like, there you go. Get on the bus over there. So I got out of that. But my first assignment was actually supposed to be Minot. The 820th recruiters came down to Lackland while I was at tech school. And you would think they would put us through this like rigorous like training selection process. Dude, we did like 15 push-ups and sit-ups and like a 3-mile run. And they're like, yeah, we just want to see how motivated you were. Next thing I know, I had orders to go to Moody, and the cycle began of 7 years of. I got there in the golden era, so it was we party till we ran out of money, go to training, we deploy, we come back with a crap load of money, we party till it all ran out. It was just like vicious cycle for like 7 years, and did a whole bunch of that, and went to work with these fine gentlemen out in Las Vegas, where I actually ended up at Nellis for 6 months before good old Ranger Mulder, Dick Mulder, picked me up to come up the street, and spent about 5 years there teaching, shut that place down, which thank God I did not come down to Bliss with you, Rafi.
Agreed.
Yeah. Thank
Lou,
God you didn't come down.
you didn't go, right?
Who I did? I went.
Yeah, Lou, you didn't go, right?
No, I did not. I went to Davis Mountain.
That's right.
He was a student of mine.
Yeah.
I came back through a year and a half later, something like that.
Yep.
It's the wildest thing. I remember when I came through the first time as a student, it was just like I sat in the back and everything. Like all of you guys, every class are just calling me out, making fun of me. And I'm just trying to exist here, man. Leave me alone.
Yeah.
Yeah, the crazy thing is when I showed up, got off the plane, every single K9 instructor had been a student at Creech. And then they were like, "Oh yeah, you don't need to teach, you don't need to learn shit. You know all this." I was like, "Yeah, I'm just here for a checkbox."
Dude, how wild was it though, Lou, when you got the DM? Like, did you have like anybody there? They were like, "Oh my God, you were my instructor," and they're like, "Do you remember this?" And you're like, "Did you do something stupid?" Because I wouldn't remember you unless you did something incredibly dumb.
No, I don't think I did. I did have a senior that said I had an instructor stink on me, but that was about it.
Well, I think I lucked out because my entire leadership team at Beale actually came through as a team as students, and I'll forever remember this class because I got charged the entire class with like they would just disappear off into the desert to go find their students. So then good old J-Rob would be like, Nick, I need to speak to the DFC. And I'm like, I'll go find go trucking around the desert for like 10 minutes. But yeah, that worked out. But yeah, I went to Beale after that. And that was the first time I'd actually done the real job of security forces, which just was wild to me, going from everything I'd done before, mainly the air-based defense aspect, to like, hey, here's a PL-1 asset and 120 person flight. You're in charge. Have fun. And then I ended up finally going to the Air Force Academy, where I ended up retiring out of. Did a whole bunch there, but mainly split the time. I actually ran ops as the M2IC of ops for a good bit, which was interesting because we did between graduations and about 6 to 7 Division I football games. The amount of work there was just absolutely ridiculous. And if you haven't been to the Air Force Academy, there's 2 ways into the base, and it's connected by the same street. So we're getting like, if we had like the Army Navy or the Air Force Navy or Air Force Army game, and it was on base, and you'd have like 30,000 people, it was just absolute anarchy. Not only doing parking, but like the infill and the exfill of all these people with just basically 2 ways on and off a base. Like a lot of fun. And then I did IG before I retired. Well, standing eval, but worked a lot with IG. So I think one of my biggest things I did right before I retired is we actually, at the time, put on the DoD's to that date largest active shooter exercise. Like I think we brought in about 40 outside agencies between police departments, FBI, and you name all the other 3-letter agencies around that area to play in it. So, and then one day, you get told when you know. I woke up, I'll remember it vividly. It was the Tuesday after Martin Luther King weekend. I woke up on this Tuesday. I'm going to put my uniform on, and I'm like, you know what? I think I'm done. So I go in and I go to click the retirement button. And what did the Air Force do? Take the retirement system down so they could roll out my retirement. And I had, which, Steve, I'm sure Wendy's well familiar with this transition to my everything that they have these days. Like anything that's my fitness, my retirement, my whatever. It's just all these horrible systems. And so I actually had to wait a month to actually click the button. And then I was one of the guinea pigs for the new retirement system. So like I'm getting all these PowerPoints like, hey, here's all the stuff you need to do. And I'm hitting everyone up. I'm like, this is not what is on the screen. They're like, oh, yeah, that's for the old retirement. I guess we got to update that. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, they went through like my eval 6.7 or some shit.
My eval was the worst.
It's so funny.
I forgot about that. I remember I had to write a decoration in it one time, and then it just ended up being like, hey, just forward or email along like the draft, and at the end, when we approve it, we'll just throw it in my eval. What the hell is the point of this?
I've never seen so much money and resources thrown at people, thrown at helping people not do their jobs in my life. Like,
yes.
Have you seen the new medical system?
My Genesis?
MHS Genesis.
I'm not a fan. Now, I do like that I have access pretty instantly to all my records, which is kind of nice, but I found out real quick that dental doesn't talk to medical. This system doesn't talk to them. Like it's nothing's connected. It's just this all big one conglomerate of all the services. So that's why I actually feel for the medical personnel now, because they have like 2 actual bosses. So they have their own chain of command structure. And then what is it, DHS or DHA?
DHA.
Yeah, DHA. So they fall under that chain of command too. So they're meeting like civilian doctor requirements for like numbers of patients. They're getting like clocked on like, all right, your appointment took this long. That was 2 minutes over. Now you have 3 minutes to put in records and whatnot.
You're only supposed to spend 15 minutes with a patient.
Yeah, the whole thing's wild. There's so much egregious things that.
I remember trying to get out of the NCR, right? And I'm trying to retire, and Like, I went to the emergency room downtown after 5 p.m. for absolutely everything. Because they're like, yeah, we can get you in to see your primary care provider for this, which is probably an acute problem, which needs to be handled now, but probably won't exist. It's fucking September when you finally give me a fucking appointment. Yeah, you can see your PCM 9 months from now. Like, wow, Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah, the NCR is the worst area for military medical. Like, they have the best doctors, you think, because there's multiple hospitals with specialists all over the place. The problem is you have to go in one of those, and even if that means driving an hour and a half to go to one, they're going to send you there, and your appointment's like 3 to 6 months out.
Well, go get an MRI at Belvoir so it can get sent back to Andrews, which will forward it over to fucking the Pentagon. We're playing telephone with my records. I showed up like, torn MCL, and by the time it gets to my actual PCM, I'm an amputee.
Well,
Yeah, I'm kind of lucked out. Like, so this area where I'm at up here, we actually have Select. So Dover and McGuire are the closest installations to me, and they do not see retirees. So it's like, as a retiree, I have my own PCM and a local health network. I call him up. He's like, "Oh yeah, here's a referral. Call this number." Just send the bill off.
He's like, "What's up, Nick? Yeah,
screw it. You want this? All right."
Hey, I threw in 7 extra pills for your dog. Another 4th of July is coming around. Like,
yeah, it's wild. My daughter, actually, when she was born, so come to find out, I apparently had this like genetic skin condition. EB, it's like epidermal something. Like if you Google it, you're going to get like the worst results in the world. And apparently I have like some very small or very minor mutation of the gene. There's apparently like 26 mutations of it. So my daughter, due to my wife getting induced, as she was, jostling around getting into position, and being the gymnast she is, hogtied herself with the umbilical cord. So as all the contractions were happening, her feet got really blistered. And we actually got sent down to the Children's Hospital of Pennsylvania for a week. And I think, like, this is the one thing I'll say about the military system, at least that I'm dealing with now with TRICARE, which is so much better than I'm retired. I paid $600 for my child to stay at the premier children's hospital in the country, like for a week. So, but funny thing out of that, oh God. So the doctor, come to find out I have it, because she's like, "Do you have toenails?" I'm like, "No, I just thought it was me being a kid, like back in our day, like it's kids these days, they don't understand, like parents like, go outside, don't come in till the street lights come on type of thing, right? Like,
yep.
We were outside just playing hard. But somebody asked me, they're like, in the summer, on like a hot summer day, if you wear shoes for too long and you get like hot spots, and I'm like, let me stop you right there, honey. Let me introduce you to my best friend named Belleville. Like, I have more miles on them suckers than you probably have minutes in this hospital.
Man, it's funny. We talk about the military healthcare system, and one of the wisest words out of Nick Weiss that he actually gave me is, what do you call a medical student that finished medical school with a C?
TRICARE
doctor.
Captain. Because they got to pay for those med bills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You ever go to one of those doctor's appointments where they're like, "Well, it looks like it's swollen." No shit, Dick Tracy.
Dude, I had a deployment in Qatar where we had a contractor bring us a bunch of shawarmas. And it was from a shawarma shop I've never had them from before. So I think like 14 of us ate them. 14 of us got like deathly ill.
Sounds about right.
How many different diagnoses do you think we had between the 14 of us?
14.
Seven. Like that's somebody had.
I thought
somebody had parasites. Like somebody had like just something else. Me, they're like, "Oh, you just got like, here's some Imodium," and I'm like, "I just drank a Gatorade and it came back out the other end as drinkable Gatorade like 5 minutes ago." Like, what are you talking about?
Had half the electrolytes, but same color. That's like, We had a big Chagas outbreak down at Lackland, right? And I'm a habitual, like, I got to have a lipper in for everything, right? And so half our trailer is like down with Chagas. And we're out there sanitizing every day after we put dogs up. And like, it was just running rampant. And so here I am, and I'm out doing bite work, and I grab the wrap, pull it off, throw a lipper in, feeling fine. Later on that afternoon, somebody from another team texts me. He's like, "Dude, I can't stop," and I was like, "Oof." He's got the bubble guts, and it's just happening, right? I go to bed that night. I wake up the next morning. I was like, God, why did I sweat so much in my sleep? And I'm like, somebody just say Ford Ranger.
Ford fucking Ranger.
I know what that is. I'm no stranger. This is Ford fucking Ranger.
That's actually my text tone on my phone right now. Ford fucking Ranger.
So I wake up the next morning and I'm like, oh man. So I'm brand new to San Antonio. Like, I know the Riverwalk, I know Lackland, and I got to go to Samsey. So instead of taking 90 or 410 to get there, I take what's the outer loop?
Well, that's the 410 or 1604.
1604.
I take 1604 all the way around, but this isn't stopping. Like, it's just continuing to happen. Thank God for leather seats. And I get there and I check myself in, and I stink to high fucking heaven. And I'm like, yeah, I got Chagas. And the medical provider's like, no, you don't. I was like, yeah, I do. They're like, well, can you provide a stool sample? I was like, on command at this point. And she's like, well, why do you think you have that? Humans can't get that. I was like, oh, you apparently don't know the difference between your contagious and zoonotic diseases. And so, yeah, come to find out I got Chagas, but I had to argue with this captain for about 30 minutes on how I got it, why I have it, and why I think I have it. And she's like, no. Okay, well, she was in the Army too, so yeah.
Says a lot.
Yeah,
leave it to four freaking cops to be 10 minutes into a conversation. It just evolves into poop jokes. Like,
I mean, this was no joke. I mean, I had to get rid of that mattress.
I believe it.
Lou, Rafi, I don't remember if you were there. Do you remember when J-Rob tried to poison us with that peach cobbler at the Thanksgiving potluck, and we all got sick and almost had to send 250 students because we all got stomach poisoning?
God, I wasn't there for that one.
Lou, you had to have been.
It vaguely rings a bell, but I know I didn't eat it
at first because of his chili.
Oh, that one.
Yeah, we literally almost had to quarantine the entire unit and send 252 studs back home because we all got food poisoning at a potluck.
I remember that because I refused to eat it because it was made by Kutcher.
You just triggered some sort of PTSD in Lou.
Yeah.
You saw it wash over his face. He's like, oh.
As soon as you said the chili, that was like ding, ding, ding.
I give Coach shit every year because it pops up in my Facebook memories of that picture. Man. We're all getting IVs and poor M11. Like, that was the first time I remember her when I got the IV drop. She's like, Nick, for all the times you fucked with me, showed up like hungover, like everything, and would be like, Doc, I need an IV. You should go get stuff ready. Be like, I'm not a bitch. I don't need one of those. She's like, I'm finally dropping one on you because you have food poisoning.
I used to go get the IVs when I was hungover as shit.
I think a lot of us did.
Yeah. I'd walk into the building and she'd be like, yeah, you need an IV like ASAP. I was like,
that was the story of our lives.
She goes, no, but you smell that bad. I can smell the alcohol coming out of you. I was like, well, in all fairness, it is 120 degrees, and I think I went to bed like 6 hours ago. So.
From a non-training aspect, oh man, you knew if I had a hangover because that was the longest foot patrol at the beginning of shift. I'm just sitting somewhere in the back of housing, just praying to God. Don't let anything happen for like the next 30 minutes. Let me get the rest of this Pedialyte. Like I'm talking so hungover that you've got a lipper in and you're not even generating saliva.
Honestly, I don't even know how we survived some of the days and the shit that we did. And now you watch these kids now, they have like 2 freaking monsters and they have heart palpitations. And it's like, what the fuck's wrong with you?
I got my liver numbers back from the VA and tell me why it was like, they're perfect. And I was like, there's no fucking way.
Yeah. I had my old
They
man,
don't test
like,
for monster.
When I turned 35, I did like all my tests and whatnot. I'm sending out my doctor results. I'm just like waiting. She's like, yeah, your liver's healthy. Like this and that's good. I'm like, are you sure you tested the right blood? Like,
it was like, your kidney functions at 96%. I was like, shut up.
It's impossible.
Do you want to study my body? Like, should I donate to science right now? What?
The amount of tornadoes that I've had over the course of my career.
God.
Like, and you're telling me my heart's perfect? Like, somehow, some way, the VA is just they're spinning those web of lies that, you know, I put on my PHA for 21 years. Like, no, your heart's perfect. Like, okay, I know how this medical game works now. I lie to you, you lie to me, and then I die at 50.
That's what kind of speaking on the tornado thing. My buddy that was actually stationed with back in the 820th, which by the way, I've made it. You guys gotta be proud. I've made it. I don't know how 27 minutes and now 10 seconds. I was in the 820th because I've been holding that in. And if I was canine like you guys, it would have been even better because that's like the double whammy, like the canine and the 820th. But nonetheless, him and I are getting
on the 820th. So you don't know what the fuck you're doing.
Yeah, exactly, dude. But we decided we're getting rip it tattoos because we gotta remember the good times.
I want one on my thigh, and it's got to be the power.
Oh, those were so good.
First of all,
I actually saw this video on Facebook the other day of how to properly drink a rip it. And there was this vet, and he was like, had this giant industrial fan blowing in his face. And then they took like a bucket of sand and just threw it on him. And then he was drinking it, and he was like, yeah, that's about right.
Yeah, it probably pulled it out of the oven like right before he drank it too. Like it's just,
man, I'm leaving a snail trail just thinking about it. When I found out that some 7-Elevens in Maryland carry those and they're like $1.07.
Walmart sells them.
I know.
But they're the big ones, and like you can't. No, it doesn't. I need like the little chode cans, like just the little chode cans, and you need like 30 of them.
You're taking them to the head. Oh, it's so good.
I remember we semi threw a revolt in Kirkuk because Rippets went away, and these like weird Middle Eastern Iraqi energy drinks started showing up.
The Tigers?
No, it wasn't Tiger. It was something else. It had like a unicorn or something weird on it.
This was at the end of 2006.
Had a camel on it. No big deal.
Yeah, it's something. But, you know, like after a couple of days, we're like, man, these are actually pretty good. And they disappeared. And there was no energy drinks at the Chow Hall for like a week. So we're talking to the
it's because those Tiger ones could have given fucking Charlie Sheen heart palpitations.
Apparently there was like ammonia and cyanide in these, and this is what we got told by the staff. And they're like, "Yeah, we had to like pull them out." They're like, "It's a good thing I drank 4 cases and like the 3 days that you had them available in the shelves." Like,
but you're worried about me getting a COVID shot when I was ingesting that willfully, and I didn't know.
It's funny, we never used our cargo pockets except for when we went to Chow Hall to load them up with extra drinks.
Yep.
Rippets and oh my god, do I miss the Snickers ice cream bars. I think I probably ate approximately 500,000 of those things over all my deployments. Like free ice cream.
But it didn't matter because you're like, I'm deployed, it doesn't count.
Yeah. I'm gonna go to the gym for like 6 hours later, sleep for 30 minutes, and get up and go back to work. Like screw it.
Yeah, I've already watched my DVD with 17 freaking ripped movies on it, so.
And the guy walked in front of the screen.
Bought it at the bazaar last week.
But Nick, good news. Your heart is perfectly functional. Your livers are fine. Kidneys working just great.
Suppuestamente.
Despite all of the bad habits.
I don't have any bad vices. What are you talking about?
Neither do any of us.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Hello.
Oh my God, Rafi, do you remember, speaking of, you remember how in Vegas when days off I would go disappear to the lake, and I would always strategically place it where, like, Lou, I'm sure you remember this, when the leadership chat used to pop off around like 6:30 every morning with James Robbins with some bullshit. So there was this spot on Lake Mead where I would sit my boat, and if I crossed it, I would have no service. So I'd send out a chat, be like, crossing the line, gonna not have any service. If you guys need anything, let me know now. And like, it just popped off. And at some point I said probably the dumbest thing I've ever said, because it actually got me sent into the first sergeant's office, because Robbins made a joke that if I dip my toes in the water, I get the beers drunk or get the fish drunk. And I responded with, I was like, look, the water is a lot different than the road. You don't drink and boat. I thought I was just making a good joke and whatnot. But next thing I know, I get called in the shirts office the next day at work.
I remember this.
I'm just sitting there talking to him and the commander, and they're like, do we need to send you to ADAP? I'm like, no, but probably.
Can you afford to lose every instructor?
Yeah, we should all go. I mean, we're all seeing mental health right now anyway. So what's ADAP going to do to her?
Yeah, you're like, you can send me, just let me self-identify so it doesn't look as bad.
They would have definitely referred me. God, they hated me.
I will say this because I've hung out with Nick, especially late nights. We've hung out and gone to B-dubs quite often. The one time I've ever seen him turn down alcohol, we had probably the worst class ever.
Oh my God. Yes.
Ever come through our class. And I'm talking about, there were a bunch of National Guard people. I almost got shot.
Yeah.
Weiss and I were sitting there going nuts. And we finally graduated them. They went out in their own separate ways. They were going down range. We go to B-dubs afterwards, and Weiss has his head on the bar, just laying down like this. And the waitress comes up, goes, those fine gentlemen want to know if you're, you guys are active duty. Weiss just looks up, goes, no alcohol, please. No alcohol. It was like 4 a.m. when we went over to B-dubs, because they were so bad that we kept them over till like 4 a.m. You remember this, Nick?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I think we failed them on it was a .3.
Yeah.
I remember the waitress, it was cold as shit too. So it was like we were freezing, and like the waitress is like, she's like, what you have? I was like, I'll have some ice cream. She just like looks at me. I was like, I'm just kidding. Give me some cheese curds, please.
It was, that was brutal. That was brutal.
B-dubs. God, the old Durango B-dubs.
This is a true episode, because we've gone off on such a tangent.
I know.
Yeah.
I mean,
this is about as real as it gets right here.
I have that profound effect of just rambling, which if you guys have seen me teach multiple classes, I'm very good at that.
I want to do a show one of these days where we just sit down and start pulling up the Airman NCO page on Facebook and roasting people.
Oh, geez.
Or like blind reactions type thing?
Yeah.
God, there's some of it that I read now. It's like, am I that salty retired tech sergeant? Like, when I look at these, like, I saw something where it's like talking bad about the toughen it up mindset. And I'm like,
yeah, I think you start to realize that some people's gene pools were not that fucking deep.
No. It's that meme that floats around that it's like, good times create, or like hard men create good times, and good times create like weak men, and it's like that big loop thing, and it's like,
I don't think that's how that goes at all.
I don't know.
That might be Helen Keller's interpretation of it.
I don't fucking know.
Weiss, you answered a lot of, even though you rambled a bit on this, and you said you rambled, but I think you answered a lot of our preemptive questions well ahead of time.
Yeah. The only thing we're missing is prior to the military.
How'd you
Oh,
grow
man.
up?
So where'd you grow up?
All right. So I am from a small town outside of Philly called Quakertown. And
Go Birds.
yeah, go Birds. I haven't thrown any of those obligatory go Birds in there at all yet. But they don't make Quaker oatmeal here. Apparently we have a Quaker church, but there's no horse and buggies and whatnot. All the Amish are out west in the state and whatnot. But I grew up here. I made a lot of poor decisions in high school, and ended up going to Valley Forge Military Academy down the street by the Villanova campus to kind of get my act right. And I actually almost became an Army officer. I actually had an ROTC scholarship for a little bit, but then I found out this horrible yet wonderful thing called women, and a little bit of freedom being at a boarding school, but being away from my parents. So the ROTC, nonetheless, it didn't work out for me. Hence why I'm sitting here talking to you, fine gentlemen, today. And yeah, I mean, growing up, we kind of hit it earlier. I mean, I grew up one of those kids where I got one down the street. One of my good buddies, he's ex-Army. He was a federal cop working in the court precincts for a while, and now he works at a driving school being an instructor. But his son, he's like 7 years old. This kid's got his own like toy lawnmowers, and this kid is out there nonstop. Like if the sun's up, the kid's outside. That was me growing up. Like my parents' yard was an absolute mess. I played a bunch of sports, mainly wrestling was the big one that I did, which precluded me from like doing competitive football, which I wanted to do. But I mean, you guys,
we're going to get into that story here shortly too.
Oh,
Don't worry
yeah,
about
yeah,
it.
yeah.
That's my
that's
next
a good,
question.
Oh,
That
yes.
is that's a good one. Good old.
Yeah, we'll get into it. We'll get into it. But go ahead. You go ahead and finish up.
Yeah, and I don't know if you want to call this a sport, but I was actually a very good golfer in my youth somehow. Despite I also do have very severe ADHD, if you couldn't figure that out. So I was a Ritalin child growing up, which what got me into trouble was actually exchanging my Ritalin for things in high school.
That's more entrepreneurial.
Yeah, it was. I mean,
Absolutely.
I was just preparing for what I'm doing right now. It's just like we can't call it a business because the people down the street at the borough office would have a fit if I called what I do at my home a business. I provide a service of dog watching. A service.
Wow.
A service. But went to military school. Going into my senior year, my grandfather got diagnosed with lung cancer. He was tail end of Korea, was a pilot, and that was back. If you guys are probably familiar, I'm not sure people that are watching. Leaving World War II up through probably the beginning of Vietnam was a really, really weird time with retention and contracts with the military, which contracts were super fluid back then, where it's like, oops, we don't have the money. We can't keep like most of you. Like, here's the Guard or the Reserve, or like, hey, thank you for your service. Here's a DD 214. I know you've only done 3 years, but congratulations. My grandfather was a pilot at the tail end of Korea. But he got diagnosed with lung cancer. Ultimately ended up passing 2 weeks after my graduation. So right before he died, he told me, because we'll back up a bit. Actually, Rafi, I think I've told you this. I actually didn't graduate with, but I actually watched 9/11 with Larry Fitzgerald. He was actually in my history class at Valley Forge when he was in his extra year before he went to Pitt and whatnot. But I watched 9/11 my senior year, so I'd already made up in my mind. I'm at military school. Being a kid growing up, it's like, I see Top Gun, like, to be a fighter pilot. And you guys know me, I'm not that smart, so I can barely say my ABCs, and I can count to 20 if I take my shoes off, type of thing. But my grandfather told me, is like, there's a war kicking off. I'm not lasting much longer. The Army's a bunch of fucking idiots, and the Marines are cannon fodder. So you're not allowed to join either of those. So that left me with the Navy, the Coast Guard, and the Air Force, which, I mean, obviously I wasn't going to join the Navy because reasons. Shockingly, I actually tested really well on my ASVAB. Like I got like a 93 or something. And my recruiter, when I originally told him I wanted to be a cop, and he's like, "No, you don't." And I'm like, I was kind of competing with the Air Force and the Coast Guard, which whoever could get me in quicker. And the Air Force ended up being going in open general, like I said. So that's kind of how I found my way into the military.
Right on. Well, now I do want to touch on, because we always ask if anybody's ever played sports or been in a discipline. And you said you were in wrestling, and you always had a dream of playing organized football. Well, let's talk about the time
Yes.
that somebody held an NFL combine. And I'm not going to mention names. I'm going to leave this to somebody else on this one. But somebody held an NFL combine and actually dressed in their dress blues for the draft day.
I did.
But the call never came.
Yeah, it never came. So I think it was 2011, the NFL started doing regional combines. Certain teams would hold miniature combines at their practice facilities, and then they would take like the high performers of those, and they did like a super regional combine, which is typically down in Dallas. But God, it was the other Steve. I can't even remember his name right now. Now that I'm retired, I can't. I'm terrible with last names. Oh, him, and Albie were like twins. But either way, my buddy Steve and I found this thing about it online about the regional combine out in Seattle, and we're like, you know what? Let's both apply and see if we get accepted. Let me back up. He found it, so he's asking me a bunch of questions. And I thought he was just putting in like a resume or whatever because he was about to get out. And come to find out, he actually put me in for it. Like, did my application. And he's like, yeah, don't worry, dude, I'm putting in for it too. So we both get accepted. And it's like all 5'9". And in Vegas, like with our work, I was probably, I don't know, Rafi, maybe 150 pounds soaking wet then.
With the rocks, with all the boulders in your pocket.
Yeah, like, I mean, I probably lost on a patrol just from the heat out there, probably 10 pounds a day. So it didn't matter what I ate, what we did. Like, it was just grueling out there. So, like, here's me, and I'm like, all 5'9" and 150 pounds of my whiteness gets accepted to come compete as a defensive back in an NFL combine. So like him and I had this pact of that, like, we're going to do it. So that's when Operation 185, as I like to call it, started. And back in the Bay, we had 2 lockers full of rat-fucked MREs. And I went on this diet of eating 6 MREs a day while I was at work. And just gratuitous lifting. And Ralphie, I'm sure you remember, I'm actually pretty freaking jacked. Like,
you're
I had like
big.
3 months to prepare for this. And I ended up packing on like 20 pounds of like actual pretty decent weight. And this time, and right at the last second, my boy pulls out. So I'm just like, you know what? This is the shit legends are made of. Like, I fly into Seattle. I get to my rental car company, and they didn't have any Escalades, which is, I think, the reason why I did not get drafted. But I rolled up to the Seattle Seahawks practice facility in a sweet rose-colored Mustang. And it was kind of interesting because leaving the hall, I actually ran into one of the guys that was running it, setting it up and whatnot. And he was talking to me about things, and he was like, you know, remember, good things come in small packages, and like use this as like a networking thing, or like this is, no matter what comes of this, it's going to be a good story for you for later. And then I get there, and as soon as you walk in the door, like right as you walk in the door, there's a Navy recruiting station.
Of course.
So Ralphie remembers, because I still wear the shorts all the time, but like the shorts that they gave us had this like huge like Navy emblem on it and whatnot. And the guy's like talking to me and like I entertained him for a little bit. And he's looking at me. He's like, you know, like your size and build, have you ever thought about joining the Navy and trying to become a SEAL? And I'm like, oh man, that sounds like a good idea, brother. Why don't you tell me more about it? So like, I'm gonna let him like sell me for a couple minutes. And then like, I just reach in my wallet, pull up my cat card. I'm like, I'm already active duty Air Force, man. He's like, dude, what the fuck? You're 29? mind you, I'm 29 going to this too, so I'm not a young cat. And I proceeded to do this combine, and it was nothing I prepared for. Like, I know, Rafi, I had you out there. You were like hand timing me and whatnot,
Yep.
like practicing the 40. I was like practicing like a bunch of drills and whatnot, but like I ran like a 5.2 40. Like, it was terrible. 5.2, and I'm like, what the hell happened? Like, because Rafi was like timing me at like 4.6 and whatnot. Like, I wasn't slow. I tested well and all the other stuff. Like, I actually broad jumped like 10 feet, which I think like the record's like 13 or something like that. Which if I look at, I was about average for a defensive back and like a normal for like broad jump. My short shuttle was pretty good. 3-cone was all right, but I'll never forget the drills. So this was back right after Russell Wilson got drafted, and I swear the motherfucker they had there throwing at the combine was Matt Flynn. So it was like this dude in like a Louis Vuitton hat and like gym clothes and whatnot, just looking like a total douchebag as the quarterback. The first drill that we did was the so you're backpedaling, and then they have you flip at command. And as they give the flip signal, you're about 12 yards from this quarterback. He just rifles the ball at your face. So you're basically just supposed to react to it. And for a while, the videos of all my drills were on there. So it's just like I flip and the ball comes at me. It's just like, ah! like what the fuck's going on? But so that all passed, and then I'm a huge football nerd. Like, I've been a member of an Eagles message board for about like 20 years now, and all my buddies on there actually wrote one of the beat writers. So there was actually like a freaking like national article about me that like was talking about how I had like center like offensive line like athleticism and like a quarterback's body, and like how I was like this like unique prospect. Like, it was great. Come draft day, so it's like kind of a joke. It was like, you never know what's gonna happen. Maybe ESPN's gonna show up. So I put my Blues top on, but not my pants, because I'm figuring if they're interviewing me, it's Vegas. It's hot as hell. Like, I'm not sitting on my couch in pants, and like they're not gonna be filming me from like anywhere below my pants. So Dudley actually likes to remember that every year. The picture of me just sitting there without pants and my Blues top on. But to this day, I'm technically an NFL free agent. And whenever I get into football conversations with people, like the ultimate default of like, well, how many this or that, or when did you play professional football? And it's like, oh, I'm a free agent. So
still a free agent, bro. You haven't clicked the retire button off of that one yet.
Nah. I'm still waiting for them to offer me a pension. So, but yeah, it was. It just is one. I'm surprised J-Rob even let me go to that. Remember the policy of no leave before, during, or after classes?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yep. I remember. Oh, oof. I remember those days.
Yeah, wild times. A lot of fun. I mean, it was.
I think he was secretly hoping just to get rid of you.
That was probably.
So maybe they'll select him, and then I don't have to deal with him anymore.
Oh, I know that. I know. He cried the day I made tech, because that saved me from the great force shaping.
Oh yes.
Because they were already starting to push me out with their bullshit paperwork at that point.
The good old days. Wick, you got a question, bud?
Not really a question, just they say never meet your heroes, but I didn't even know you were my hero until this podcast happens.
Listen, bro. You know what? I have this quote I used to like to tell students. Heroes never wanted to be heroes. They just simply did their job and whatever was in their heart.
And maybe you were more of a linebacker than a defensive back.
Well, I don't know if you knew this, but sometimes a tight end can also be a wide receiver.
There you go.
Yeah.
Very true.
Very true.
I've heard stories.
I heard it in a Blink-182 song once, and apparently it's a joke that is for, I don't know, it goes over my head. So it's just I don't know. Apparently,
well, it's going to be better than the Coldplay song.
Oh,
yeah.
I did it.
Oh man, fucking
Yo, I,
Coldplay.
I was actually online this morning, and Morgan Wallen, he was doing a concert. I think like it might have been Arizona or Missouri or something. And he middle of the concert, he goes, "Hey, if you're here with your side chick tonight, I think you're safe, but I don't know." And
I
then
actually saw the video of that. My make sure no windows are open. So there's a chick that I dated back in Vegas. I'll just use the term date loosely for what happened in Vegas.
Yes.
But
Well,
she was actually at that concert and she posted that. But she was like sitting there in like the third row, and I'm just like, I didn't know what this whole Coldplay thing was basically till this morning. And I'm like I just saw a bunch of shit about Coldplay online. I'm like, who the fuck listens to Coldplay? Like, what? It's 2025. Which, speaking of, it's 2025. Did you guys know Bush came out with a new album 2 days ago?
Oh.
It is a banger, too.
Is it?
Yes. I've had it on like repeat for 2 days. So it's just like Coldplay's back in the news and Bush comes out with a new album. Like, what is going on with the world?
You just hit everybody on this podcast with like their high school vibes.
I know.
Yeah, no free ads. No free ads. No, I did see I've been seeing all the memes on this Coldplay thing, and this morning it was, the CEO behind his HR manager, and the CEO, they put Chief Flossie's face on it.
Oh.
And then the HR manager, they put Army Standards.
Oh,
Jesus Christ.
Oh my God.
The internet wins again.
Yes.
It stays undefeated.
Oh, it's undefeated.
That's what's why you brought up doing a just an entire podcast of like ripping the Airman NCO page, or just like going through it. There's some valid stuff right now I've been reading. Like, my salty ass recently has been like, just grow the fuck up. It's the military. Like, it's going to be hard sometimes. Now it's like, dude, do you know how high 8 to 12 inch boots are? Like, do you know how egregiously dumb that is? Like,
don't even bother training calf muscles in the gym anymore. You're never going to be able to show them off.
Everyone's going to be looking like Kevin Durant out there, dude. Just like Twiggy aliens. Like,
I swear, I still don't have hair from the boot line down.
I think that's a lot of us, man.
Well, I mean, here's the other thing too, right? Like, everybody's like, oh, they're changing the standard. They're doing this to the standard. Like, okay, well, find me one NCO that has the absolute sack to walk up somebody and enforce it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and part of it, I do like that argument, but I also, the other retort to that is, and this is what hurt me at the end of my career, it's like they change shit so often that I second guess myself.
Right.
That it's like you see stuff that's egregious and you're like, is that really a natural hair color? Like, can they pull out that argument on me? Or is like, I don't know, shit got wild. Like,
yeah, it's wild. But I remember, like, I'd sit there and, like, you got these like wannabe hard charger, chest pounding NCOs. They're like, oh, well, this motherfucker here, his boots are this or this, and this. Like, okay, then go say, man, it's not even worth my time. Then shut the fuck up.
Nothing like getting chief though in the desert.
Oh, dude, the old staying over at Qatar or IED for a day. I'll never forget. I was freaking working out on a stopover when I doing flyaways, and I was on the pull-up bar. I'm just ripping like the 2 out that I could do, and like I see I see somebody like yelling and just like running up to me, like in the distance, and they're like, your shirt's untucked. And I'm just like, all right. So I hop down, tuck my shirt in, hop back up, it pops back out. And they're like, I told you to tuck your shirt in. I'm like, just go fuck off. Like,
oh, dude, similar story.
Do you want to
right?
see my socks too? They're the wrong color.
Similar story. So I rolled out of Afghanistan into 2011. And, K9, we go back to Kuwait to transition back to McGuire to taxi to Philly to I get into Kuwait and I get in like it's real late, right? And I'm not like the next morning I just want to go to the Green Bean. I want to get my mocha frap. I want to get some internet, and try to figure out oh God, I got to stay in Germany for 4 days. Now this is going to dick up my plane and blah, 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 blah. Walk in there. Here's this first sergeant, which that's a whole different topic for. I'm a first sergeant. You're a mass sergeant with an extra little thing in the middle, dude. Like, get out of here.
Army first sergeant or Air Force?
He's an Air Force first sergeant.
Oh, okay.
So I'm walking down to the green bean from down the kennels, and he's, where's your uniform? And this is back before, OCPs. We went to the orange. Everything was black. I had my little black staff sergeant stripes and everything. Mm-hmm. I've already been in the country like a month too long. I just want to go home. Right? My professionalism is out the window. I left that in Guam. I'm walking, and he's like, where's your uniform? I was like, well, it appears to me that I'm fucking wearing it. Well, that's not an Air Force uniform. And I go, well, I wasn't attached to an Air Force unit. Well, you're on an Air Force installation. You need to have ABUs on. And I was like, that's funny. I don't have a pair of ABUs. And mind you, not shaven, little hats, Ranger rolled in the front because they hate that.
Oh, God. I rocked that thing hardcore and Creech.
Dude, I had to find the damn thing before I even got on the plane to go back to Kuwait. So he's like, well, you need to go change. And I was like, yep, I'll get right on that. Kept walking into the green bean.
Dude, I love those. Or what I always love deployed is running into the sergeant majors who did not understand how the Air Force works. And they
tell me, he's like, how do I punish you? And I was like, I don't know.
No, like, especially with our 9s where they're like, you didn't clear, like, you didn't do this. I'm like, that's because I'm fucking trusted to be able to keep a round in the chamber. I'm like, you fucking dumbasses. Like,
your weapon's on fire. I'm well aware. Thank you.
yeah. Oh God, I had 6 months of that. I actually, so out of Beale, I deployed to Kuwait, and I kind of knew where the stars were aligned. My our S4 superintendent at the time got picked up to all his orders said was Syria. And he was basically AdCon out of the base I was going to in Kuwait. So I show up to Kuwait and he's still there. And I'm like, all right. And I told him, I was like, dude, if you need PSD, you need anything, just fuck Kuwait. Like, I ain't got time for this place. First GAR mount I'm in, they're asking for volunteers to they wanted to say they were sending a couple squads to Syria. They didn't say anything else. Wildest deployment I've probably ever had, by the way. And I've got all the other flight chiefs, after I volunteered, they're like, dude, this place is so awesome. Why would you want to leave here and go to somewhere else? And I'm like, fuck you guard ass motherfuckers looking at fuck it, fuck this place. It's 120 degrees in October right now. No, I ain't got time for this. And we get to KCIA and they're like, hey, you got to go, you're going to go talk to the commander and the chief. And I'm like, all right, cool. And I passed the senior and he's our acting chief there. And he's like, hey man, there's a team that's going to Syria. I'm like, oh yeah, I volunteered for it. He's like, no, you're not volunteering, man. You're going. I'm like, oh, okay. All right, fair enough. And
yeah,
wild as shit.
Now you're telling me to go. Whatever makes you feel good, senior.
Yeah. All right. But fast forward, a couple of days later, I'm with all the leadership team. I've been getting quasi intel briefs, but they can't give me shit because this is Syria end of 2016.
So nobody knows what's going on.
Yeah, it was wild. Cool, we're gonna go meet your team. And I walk into this tent and it's just I'm looking at all these kids up and down. I'm like, I'm gonna fucking die. All these kids, when you look at some people and you make that initial judgment and it's and you remember ISIS back in we watched it at Creech. We unfortunately our job had us reading way too much just to teach and stay on top of things. And ended up being legitimately the best squad I've ever had. I still talk to half of them
awesome.
on a pretty much, I'd say, monthly basis. They still hit me up for shit. my buddy was like a team lead for an exercise not too long ago, or field training bullshit. And he's like, dude, I need your the handbook, Nick's like variation of the Ranger handbook of like what I should do, like going into this type stuff. But we get there, come to find out, you guys probably know the name Colonel Metzger.
Yep.
Was the commander back in Kuwait. The senior that ended up getting sent to Syria, who I got sent to babysit, he was like, fuck this dude. I don't want like any part of him here in this like KCIA thing, because it was just, you know how political it is back there. Apparently he made like some like homophobic joke and like pissed somebody off and had an EO complaint. And he was on like a 365 and one. It was a bunch of weird shit. But anyway, that's how Senior Ostrander, the guy that for my base at Beale, ended up staying back in Kuwait, ended up staying there. But I had to like end up babysitting this dude. But the entire time, like the wars I had with the Army of like the first sergeant there, my guy's arming status. Meanwhile, my senior master sergeant's like complete fucking moron to just about everything.
That never happens.
No, it was. I'll never forget, because we had the headquarters for the Special Operations Joint Task Force in our camp. When I got there, it was like a dirt strip runway, about 20 tents. When we landed, I remember hopping off the back of this C-17, which my kids were perplexed. Like I told you, like I looked these kids up and down. And I was like, I thought I was gonna fucking die. Like we hop on the C-17. It's full of AK-47s, ammo, RPGs, like you name it, to arm all the militias out there. And as soon as the plane takes off, Loadmaster starts walking around like, fuck it, like that's the time you unhook your shit. I pulled up my ruck, threw it on top of one of the pallets. I'm sleeping on top of a box of RPGs and whatnot. My kids are just like, what is happening? So like I hop off this plane and like distinct crunch of gravel. And I'm like, what the fuck? And like I look up, there's just like a line of IR chem sticks and regular chem sticks like going up here. So we couldn't see anything at night. Next morning I wake up and it's just like openness. We didn't have freaking perimeters. We didn't have anything. It was like 20 tents, a dirt runway. So I go into work and I'm working with the senior. I was like, hey, priorities of work. Like, here's what I got to do. Like our BDOC's pretty well established, but I want to go. I've already got like a pretty good like eyes on like bird's eye view. I shouldn't say bird's eye view, but like from where our tent was at, it was a little bit elevated for a lot of the area. So I was like, I got some spots I want to check and all this, and I gave him the whole priorities of work, everything I wanted to do. And I ended up like teaching my kids how to do like range cards, range estimation, like you name it. I had to teach them how to drive MAP Vs, which was scary because it's like, hey, here's our vehicles. Let me show you how to use this in 15 minutes. And don't fuck it up because we don't actually have any replacement parts. And one guy to fix them. But I'll never forget, I got in this argument with this senior. And I'm coming up with basically like QRF plans where if something happened, we didn't have a perimeter at the time. So our off-duty forces would go to certain points around the airfield. We had some Army around there, which the Army guys and the senior just butted heads. I got along with them pretty good. I'm drawing everything up. He's like, why do we need to do this shit? I got this camera right here. Like, why do they need static positions? That's archaic. And I'm like, what the fuck did you just say? Like, static positions are archaic because you got a camera that works 25% of the time? Like, what the fuck? So fast forward a month, the Special Operations Joint Task Force Command Sergeant Major comes in, and I have never seen the most glorious ass ripping ever. And here's me like sitting back, and I'm like, I've observed everything. You've got like Army Boss Eye, which controls like the buildup, the infrastructure. So, and then you had the Army Security Element, Special Forces guys. And mind you, we had like French, Navy SEALs, like all these people coming in and out. Basically, it was the main supply point for all of Inherent Resolve for the Push on Raqqa. We were up in Kobani, which was the first city liberated from ISIS during that whole campaign. But I've never seen the most beautiful ass ripping ever. This sergeant major just sat down there and just was talking to people, and it was like just talking like you and I right now. He's bringing up stuff, and me just being observant, talking through things. He just systematically destroyed every human at this table. Just talking to the most like calm voice ever. And like you just saw like as he went like person to person, their like demeanor changed and they're like, oh. No, after we get done, like the senior is looking at me, he's like, hey Nick, can I have you go out? Like I'm gonna need some range cards. I'm gonna need you to do this. I'm like, you mean all this shit I've been doing since we began? I hand him this whole binder.
Yeah, it's surprising he didn't try to like, hey, Nick, can you step out for a second? No, motherfucker, because you're next and I want to watch.
Well, no, it was wild. He did that shit a lot. Like, there'd be times he'd call me in and be like, hey, I got this email I need to send. You can explain stuff a lot better than I can. Can you like type up this zipper email for me? And I'm like, the fuck, dude?
Don't you love those people? They're like, yeah, so I've been doing this and this and this, and then somebody asks them a question like, oh yeah, no, so what's the purpose of if this happens and then blah 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 blah, and they're like, well, Wick, do you want to?
Man, I didn't want to throw you guys under the bus. This guy was actually an old canine dude too.
Oh, I'm sure he is, and we can talk offline about his name, and we can just fucking have a heyday on it.
Yeah, you might know it, but my understanding was he kind of got shuffled at some point.
That happens.
Yep.
And was forced out of his last duty station. Where, and if you put a master sergeant in S1,
yeah,
some things, but yeah, he ended up actually tanked his career on his back half of his 365. By improperly using SIPR and actually got sent home and a security clearance revoked.
That'll do it.
Yeah, but shit was that deployment. That deployment was Syria was wild times. But going back onto the standards thing, mind you, like I explained to you like the situation I'm at, and I remember it was like day like 2 or 3, and he's harping on us about shaving, and I'm like, dude, we're using well water from like a well outside of base. Mind you, I'm getting told by him because I'm doing key leader engagements with local militia because we don't have sofas. Where like there was no, we weren't in Syria, but everybody knew we were in Syria. Like it was wild. It was like, yeah, you can't really go off base unless you're with special forces, but you can. But like if anything happens, you have to like rely on these guys. So it's just like, all right, let me go talk to them. I think after like 3 days of going out there, he didn't understand what I was doing and talking. He's like, this is dumb. Like, I'm not going out anymore. I'm like, you're a senior security liaison. Like, okay, I guess I'll go out and just figure out all of our security measures. And like,
he's like, I went out once. I'm just going to put it on my EPR.
Yeah. Right?
So I had an incident like that in Afghanistan where
Bronze Star.
Yeah.
Hey, that motherfucker. He was so, and this is what pisses me off about that deployment. So the combat device came out during this deployment, and him and I actually got into it one day because he did not like the way the Army was working our gate, so he wanted to take it over, even though we were already undermanned. So I was up at this main gate every day as the shift lead. And mind you, I was up most of the night anyway because the night shift, when he was asleep, would just come wake me up when anything would happen. Because they're like, we're going to let you figure it out first before we wake him up and get him involved. And then start fighting with them.
They didn't trust him.
He would get in fights with the Army security and whatnot. And I had a good working relationship with him. But we were up at the gate, and I'll never forget, my boy Garrettson found a toad after a rainstorm, and he's like, toads don't do well in water. So it started out with he made a boat for this toad out of like a piece of cardboard and like a cutout of a water bottle. And then somehow it blossomed into like, they made this giant pirate ship out of like MRE boxes and MREs. Like they were making flags out of like the MRE bags. And like it was glorious. And now mind you, like one person was working on it, the rest of us were working. And there was a guard master sergeant who was legitimately 65 years old.
Oh, but don't worry, he's got 20 years of law enforcement in Podunk, Ohio.
Yeah, no, he was
Right?
he was one of those with the sweet flat top and everything, and he thought it was awesome. So him and the senior come out, and I won't mention names because we'll I don't want to roast too many people, but he brings him out just to like come see us, and like at the side, he's like, "Yo, you guys got to show the senior what you guys have been doing." Now, mind you, you wouldn't be able to tell when they walked up. Like one person was just like, it was their downtime. There's three of us, and we had a vehicle maybe every couple hours and whatnot. So I'd have one up front just scanning the area, another one looking over top of the has, overlooking our MSA coming into or MSR coming into the area, and another person just basically relaxing because it's summer in Syria, which is kind of like middle or northern Iraq. Like it's hot, it's cold, it's warm, it's like everything in between. Like, so I'm like, you know what? Screw it, show it to him. Next thing I know, like 15 minutes later, I get this call for me to RTS, and I'm just like, okay, can you send a patrol out to come pick me up? They're like, no, they're all tied up. You need to walk. Fuck me. So I go back, and this dude just starts undressing me like top to bottom about like unprofessionalism and like, what if like X rolled through the gate and saw them working? And I'm like, look, you didn't see anything when you came up. They're doing this stuff. Like, you know, it's a morale thing. Like one of them is taking some R&R on a 12-hour shift, like having their downtime. I do not need priorities of work. I do not need three people like up at all times. Like the human body can only focus for X amount of time.
Just remember, Nick, the H in Air Force stands for happiness.
So as soon as I brought up the world morale,
like, there is no H.
My goodness, Wig.
oh no. Yeah, but this dude. So as soon as I bring up morale, he's like, well, I talked to them and they were all happy, and like I lost it at this point because
it's all right. It's all right. He'll come back.
But so like, and my kids were like already like ready to revolt against this dude because like he had Taz installed specifically to like watch over them on post and whatnot, micromanaging and whatnot. So I just like lost it on him. I was like, you want to talk about morale?
There we are.
This is what is going on with the kids. Like, you are micromanaging them. Like, I am here doing my job. I am their team leader. I am telling you right now, like, there is nothing absolutely wrong with what's going on. And no matter what you think, like, here is what I need you as a leader to adjust. And mind you, this is just me and him, sidebar conversation with the master sergeant. Like, just kind of just dumbfounded 65-year-old, like, senior citizen, like,
did I get my Lipitor this morning?
and this dude, so I'll never forget. He's like, he just like completely like destroys me. He's like, you know what? I can't trust you anymore to like do this, that, this, and this. I'm like, fuck it. Like, all right, whatever. Like, what are you gonna have me do? What I'm doing right now? like who else? Like, who else you have to like do whatever? So the next morning hits. He pulls me aside. He's like, Nick, I call back to Coy, and here's what's gonna happen. Like, I talked to senior O, which is the senior from Beale that I knew, and he's like, I need you to fix some things, like, and I need you to continue to be transparent with me, but like, I can't have you talking to me like that. Like, I'm a senior master. And I'm like, you know what? If I got unprofessional, I'm sorry. Like, that wasn't my means, but you started attacking me. Like, at the end of the day, we're in the middle of a war zone. Like, I'm talking to you like a man. Like, you need these people to follow your guidance and trust you if something happens. Like, I'm telling you that eroded and they come to me. Like, that's not a good thing. And he's like, and we decided we're not going to downgrade your medal. I'm like, when the fuck did this come up?
When the fuck did we get ice cream?
So fast forward, we have this talk, and I feel so bad for the Lieutenant Colonel Senior Airfield Advisor we had, Lieutenant Colonel Wine. Awesome dude, very neurotic. He was an air traffic controller, but he was our Senior Airfield Advisor out there. Dude, I love the dude. He loved me. Like, he would not even give a shit about the senior. Like, come to me for everything. Like, it was fucking hilarious. But him and I had a talk at one point. He's like, "Hey man, like, we wanted to push you for a Bronze Star, but we're gonna write you up for an MSM." I'm like, you know what? It's the same. It's the same thing in theory, but technically you actually can't give an MSM downrange. But okay, at the end of the day, it's like when it comes to being promoted, like, a tech sergeant sitting with an MSM is a very good looking thing.
Yes.
So fast forward like 6 months, and I ended up going back and working, getting moved into training at Beale, and Senior O moved to her OPSO position. So obviously I was working for him. And the conversations I had with him when I came back, but I was like, I need to tell you about the senior. He's like, please do. Because fuck that dude. Like, there was so much shit. And he was just like, motherfucker. But I'll never forget one day. It was right before our EPRs closed out. He's like, I'm so fucking pissed. The vice wing commander at Kuwait concurred with my MSM with a push note of, let's give him a combat device on this medal. Can't attach a combat device to an MSM, so they downgraded it to an accommodation medal.
Oh,
I fucking love it.
Sounds about right.
Meanwhile, we all found out all leadership over there tried to give themselves Bronze Stars of Valor.
Oh, that sounds about right. Because I had a similar story in Afghanistan. I had the patrol master for when we were going outside the wire. He was setting up all the plans and stuff like that, and we're like, well, why don't you go outside the wire with us and actually see what we're seeing? He's like, well, me going outside the wire greatly decreases my chance of survivability. You don't say.
You said the quiet part out loud, you dipshit.
It's like you're jumping ahead on this one, buddy, but yeah, you don't say.
Hey, that's why I always used to tell my kids, especially in Syria, it's like, if shit happens, and that's where my quote, like I said it before, it's like, heroes didn't want to be heroes, they simply did their job. Like I told them, it's like, if anything happens, I don't want any of you to do anything stupid. Just listen to me, trust your gut. If anybody's going to do anything stupid, it's going to be me. Like, I've prepped you enough, I've trained you enough that if something happens to me, like, you have that critical thinking, that decision-making capability within you, that just do what you think is right. Like, trust your gut. Like, at the end of the day, when, like, you guys know, when it comes to fucking combat, it's like, you don't have time to sit there and second guess yourself. My wife fucking hates it now, by the way. It's just like, when shit happens and it's like, she's like, you're always so calm. And it's like, there's a couple of different situations in life. It's like, can I sit here and can I just think about what the next step is, or do I have to act automatically? Like, if I can sit and think about something and nobody's going to die, that's the best way to do it. If I have to react immediately, I'll react immediately. Like, and you might not like what's going to happen, but that's just how it's going to be. Like, that's just freaking life. And that's the one thing. It's wild that you bring that up, Ralphie. It's like, I've had that shit so many times too, where it's like, you put the cart before the horse, so to speak, too, where it's like, hey, go do this. Like, this is what we expect. That's not what we're seeing. Well, this is this is what I want done. It's not what we're seeing.
And it's not feasible for what you want done because it's not what we're seeing, what we're experiencing.
That's who you can't manage others' expectations. You can only manage your own.
Yep.
You know, and what I say to a lot of people, you know, and kind of what you just said about your troops, my guys and gals, hey, just do your job. Don't tell them to fuck off. Call me and I'll tell them to fuck off.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
That's what I get paid to do. That's not what you get paid to do. But yeah, expectation management, and especially with leaders like this senior, and you know, any kind of bad leader you've ever had, you know, they got a champagne taste on a beer budget.
Yes.
And you know, hey, sometimes, man, it's not going to be Moet. It's going to be a Busch Latte.
Yeah. Well, I know my
end result's going to be the same, but the journey's going to be different. You know.
Yeah, and that's the way. Like I know it. Whenever I got new troops or like I take over a new flight, it took them a while. Like my favorite term to tell people was sure. And I'm like, hey, Sergeant Weiss, can I do this? Sure. And my thing is just like, why are you asking me? Like, just do it. Like, is it illegal? Is it unethical? Is it moral? No. All right. You know, just do what you think is right. Like,
but it builds ownership in the mission too, and it gives them leadership as well when you do it like that.
Yeah, it's just like obviously I build them up to a certain point, but like I got that question asked to me once because it was like, and unfortunately this happened to me way too late in my career. When I was at Beale, I had a commander, Ranger Barden, best commander I ever worked for. I shouldn't say best, but he was in my top commanders and probably the one that I picked the most up for. And first time I met him was actually when I came off the plane coming back from Syria. And, you know, getting off, you see a commander with a Ranger tab and you're like, all right, this is going to be interesting. Like him and I we're going to see an eye to eye on a lot. And one day I'm doing walks in, breaks up my entire flight into like groups of like 6 groups. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? And what he basically goes to do is Ranger PCIs. He's asking questions about M4s, how 68 works, how the PEG 15 works, how your MVGs work, how to apply a tourniquet, like all this stuff. Gear functionality, basically like the shit you carry, do you know how to use it? All my kids woefully fail. And like here's me like with my training background, like just like leg twitching. And it's like I feel like I've taught you guys like all of this. Like, what the fuck? Like, and it's like embarrassing to me because it's like I'm getting just absolutely embarrassed as a flight chief. Next thing I know, everything gets done. He brings up the flight. He's like, hey, you know, X amount met the standard, X amount didn't. Like the absolute Ranger way. Like you meet the standard, you don't meet the standard. And he's like, I ask you all to get better. You know, there's been at that time 27 use of force incidents since they really started tracking things. I can't remember the exact date, like 2003. It's involved gate runners, domestics,
all the fun stuff.
Yeah, like all the fun stuff. He's like, our job is very serious. So I need you guys to get better at this. And I finished my guard mount leave. He's waiting for me in the flight chief's office, and he pulls me and the master sergeant back, gives us both letters of admonishment, which was like this eye-opening thing for me. And he's like, hey, this is not the culture I want in my unit. And that's the funny thing where we talk about the airman NCO page right now. It's like that lethality thing that they talk about. It's like it's a real thing where to an extent it's funny to laugh at, but people don't really realize that you're probably in more danger stateside than you are overseas now these days.
Yep.
Like they don't realize that. And that kind of set me on the path of it's just like I thought I prepared my airmen in a way that like kept them on their toes and whatnot, but maybe not to the same degree. And that kind of was like one of those eye-opening lessons for me that it changed the way I led people and prepared them. Where, I mean, Rafi and Lou, I mean, you guys have seen it. Like, I'm a loose as hell person. But when it comes down to it, it's like I held people accountable.
Yes, you
like,
did.
Like, I can have fun all day long, but at the end of the day, like, I was never adverse to pulling somebody in the back room and saying, like, you need to unfuck your life. Like, you're fucking up. I'll undress them like up and down all day long. And that just kind of recentered me on like a lot of thinkings and how like I changed my leadership style, I should say. And ultimately actually kind of hurt me in the long run, because I actually got a lot of feedback throughout the days where it's like, I mean, you guys had seen me. It's like what happened to me at Creech was just sad.
Yes.
I had probably of all of the tracks, mind you, I actually ran the intro track as well. Like the most accoladed track, despite the most instructor turnover. Our boys, the other two, leading the other two tracks, always came to me to help run their tracks.
Yep.
And like I got like absolutely dumpstered through that whole process. And that was just kind of one of those things, like that kind of like recentered me. And like I just kind of stopped caring at that point. And it's just like I kind of like this whole realization that it's like I'm not bigger than this whole process. I'm just gonna take care of my people. I'm creating my replacements, and at the end of the day, if they're better people for it, I don't give a shit what my superiors are saying or thinking. Like they're all getting promoted. Like like you can't tell me at the end of the day I'm unprofessional yet we're gonna give your flight of the year. Like thank God they persevered through my. I just lost an AirPod. Hopefully you guys can still hear me.
Yeah, we got you.
Yeah, we got you.
Yeah, like thank God they persevered through my my unprofessionalism. Like,
well, real quick, because we're gonna wrap up real quick, but I just wanted to say I knew Ranger Barton as Lieutenant Barton, and he's a very good dude.
Oh, I love that. I still talk to him. I shouldn't say pretty regularly. One of his proteges I actually still talk to on a near regular basis. The last lieutenant I got to groom. Which was one of those things under him is like I became the breeding ground for flight chiefs at Beale. Like
awesome.
they're like, hey, train this person up. All right, cool. We're gonna take him here to fix this shit. I'm like, fuck me. Like I just finished this. But
there is one word I want him to say. Compass. Say the word compass.
Compass?
The way that you used to say it back at Creech.
Hold on, I'm missing an AirPod, so I am not hearing too well.
I said the word compass. Can you hear that?
Compass?
Yeah. How did you used to say it back at Creech?
Compass? Maybe.
There you go.
All right. Well, let's wrap it up. We're gonna wrap it up for the show because we've been on here for an hour and a half talking. Wick, go ahead and close us out, buddy.
All right. Hey, well, Nick, it was great to meet you. It was great to talk to you. Probably, I wouldn't say this is. It's up there. This was a really fun episode to do with you, man. Thanks for the laughs and thanks for the story. And we're gonna have you on again.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, honestly, like I was talking to Rafi about it. It's like, don't give me a script, let me talk. I mean, it's going to go one or two ways, good or bad. So
that's one thing I said at my retirement ceremony. It was like, hey, I wrote it down. I probably won't use it. So you're going to be just as surprised as I am on what comes out of my mouth. So buckle up. Here we go.
Oh, yeah. Fuck yeah, dude. That was my retirement speech. I did 4 shots for my my 4 buddies that self-deleted right at the beginning of it. And I remember at one point, somebody like my mom looking at me, she's just like, I'm like, I don't know what I talked about.
Yeah.
Like, fucking.
Yeah, it's wild. But yeah, hey man, thanks again for coming on. So before we wrap up, Steve, anything else?
Hey, thanks again for coming on, Nick, and pleasure to see you again. Always enjoy your stories and reliving some of our past ourselves. So thanks again for coming on and sharing things.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it. Hey, I mean, you got the direct tap in. One thing I wanted to say, back from our Creech days, I'm so amazed with your wife, dude. Knowing her back in the day, I would never thought she would be in the position she's at right now. Like, she's doing great things. So give her my regards, and I'll wrap up my last statement with this. Like, the one thing I've enjoyed through retirement, and the one thing with today's day and age that really sucks in social media is like everything's so negative. We talk about the Airman NCO page. We talk about what's going on over in the Middle East, and I'll spare you guys my political thoughts right now. But the one thing that really makes me happy these days is seeing people thrive. Seeing people that I've known in my past, whether it's through the military and life, just absolutely thriving right now. And that's the one thing that makes me happy. Rafi, watching your kids grow up. So, I mean, since you've retired, you pretty much you really don't have too much of a social media presence. But I just out of nowhere, I'm like, wait, Lou has more kids now.
I do.
And then seeing Wendy, like when I saw her name on the chief list, I'm like, I would have never thought back in 2014 that it's like we would see a Chief Wendy.
Well, it's funny because one of the very first phrases out of her mouth when we met at Creech was her goal was to be Chief Montalisi. Changed the last name, she still achieved it. So.
Yeah, I know. Wild. Like it's I love seeing people change. I love, like, for the better and everything else, and just thriving. And
on my end, for what I want to say is, Nick, thank you for coming on and sharing the stories and laughing with us. And we will definitely have you on again, for sure.
Yeah, we might need to actually have a somewhat structured.
It could go either way. I'm down for the fun. So
all right. Well, you get Goody in here and just let him and I tell some stories too. Oh boy.
Oh.
All right. Well,
Wait,
hey,
go ahead,
on
Blake.
behalf of the crew, on behalf of our guest, Nick Weiss, thanks for joining us today. Remember, you can follow us on IG and Facebook and X, formerly known as Twitter, at Outrank Pod. Remember to like, subscribe, thumbs up, and we'll see you next time around the loop on the Outrank.
One more thing. We also have now a TikTok account.
We do have TikTok.
So you can follow us on TikTok.
Yep, you get to see Rafael Rhodes out there dancing. So,
how much clothes do you have on, Rafi?
Right now you're looking at it.
We haven't branched out into OnlyFans yet, but maybe in the future.
I need some thirst traps specifically from Rafi.
All right, well, hey, that's enough for us here on the Outrank Pod. Join us next time. Look forward to seeing you. Remember, like, subscribe, thumbs up, upvote, all that good stuff. If you don't know how to do it, have your kids do it for you. Thanks a lot, guys. We'll see you.